Om Gyanantimirandhasya Gyananjanasraka Chakshurunmritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to our ISKCON official YouTube channel. Today I am going to discuss mantra 16 of Isopanisad, in which it is stated that Usan Ekarse Yama Surya Prajapatya Vyuha Rasmin Samuha Tejo Jate Rupam Kalyana Tamam Tate Pashyami Yo Shau Asho Purusha Soham Asmi. That means, O my Lord, O primeval philosopher, O maintainer of the universe, O regulating principle, destination of the pure devotees, well-wisher of the progenitors of mankind, please remove the effulgence of your transcendental rays so that I can see your form of bliss. You are the eternal Supreme Personality of Godhead, like unto the sun, as am I. Like unto the sun, as am I. The sun and its rays are one and the same qualitatively. Similarly, the Lord and the living entities are one and the same in quality. The sun is one, but the molecules of the sun's rays are innumerable. The sun's rays constitute part of the sun, and the sun and its rays conjointly constitute the complete sun. Within the sun itself resides the sun god, and similarly within the supreme spiritual planet Golok Vrindavan, from which the Brahma Jyoti effulgence emanating, the Lord enjoys his eternal pastimes, as verified in the Brahma Samhita 529. Chintamani Prakarasad Masukarpa Brukya Raksha Vriti Susuravi Ravipaраyantam Lakshmi Sahasra Sadasam Brahmasabhyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamang Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor, who is tending the cows, fulfilling all desires in abodes filled with spiritual gems and surrounded by millions of well-wishing, wish-fulfilling trees. He is always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or goddess of fortune. The Brahma Jyoti is described in the Brahma Samhita as the rays emanating from that supreme spiritual planet, Golok Vrindavan, just as the sun's rays emanate from the sun globe. Until one surpasses the glare of the Brahma Jyoti, one cannot receive information of the land of the Lord. The impersonalist philosophers, blinded as they are by the dazzling Brahma Jyoti, can realize neither the factual abode of the Lord nor his transcendental form. Limited by the poor fund of knowledge, such impersonalist thinkers cannot understand the all-blissful transcendental form of the Lord Krishna. In this way, therefore, see Isopanisad petition, said the Lord, to remove the effulgent rays of the Brahma Jyoti, so that the pure devotee can see his all-blissful transcendental form. Sorry. By realizing the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, one experiences the auspicious aspect of the Supreme, and by realizing the Paramatma, or all-pervading features of the Supreme, one experiences an even more auspicious enlightenment. But by meeting the personality of Godhead himself face to face, the devotee experiences the most auspicious features of the Supreme. Since he is addressed as the primeval philosopher and maintainer and well-wisher of the universe, the supreme truth cannot be impersonal. This is the verdict of Sri Isopanisad. The word Pusan or maintainer is especially significant. For although the Lord maintains all beings, he specifically maintains his devotees. After surpassing the impersonal Brahma Jyoti and seeing the personal aspect of the Lord and his most auspicious eternal form, the devotee realizes the absolute truth in full. In his Bhagavad Sandarbha, Sri Jiva Goswami states, the complete conception of the absolute truth is realized in the personality of Godhead because he is almighty and possesses full transcendental potencies. The full potency of the absolute truth is not realized in the Brahma Jyoti. Therefore, Brahma realization is only partial realization of the personality of Godhead. Our Lord suggests the first syllable of the word Bhagavan, that is Bhagavan means Bhav, has two meanings. The first is one who fully maintains, and the second is guardian. The second syllable Ga means guide, leader, or creator. The syllable Ban indicates that every being lives in him and that he also lives in every being. In other words, the transcendental sound Bhagavan represents infinite knowledge, potency, energy, opulence, strength, and influence, all without a tinge of material inability. The Lord fully maintains his honorable devotees and he guides them progressively on the path toward devotional perfection. As the leader of his devotees, he ultimately awards the desired results of devotional service by giving himself to them. The devotees of the Lord sees the Lord eye to eye by his causeless mercy. Thus the Lord helps his devotees reach the supermost spiritual planet Golok Vrindavan. Being the creator, he can bestow all necessary qualifications upon his devotees so that they can ultimately reach him. The Lord is the cause of all causes. In other words, since there is nothing that caused him, he is the original cause. Consequently, he enjoys his own self by manifesting his own eternal potency. The external potency is not exactly manifested by him, for he expands himself as the Purushas, and it is in these forms that he maintains the features of the material manifestation. By such expansions, he creates, maintains, and annihilates the cosmic manifestations. So, and the living entities are also differentiated expansions of the Lord's self, and because some of them desire to be Lords and may imitate the Supreme Lord, he allows them to enter into the cosmic creation with the option to fully utilize their propensity to lord it over nature. Because of the presence of his four parts and parcels, the living entities, the entire phenomenal world is stirred into action and reaction. Thus, the living entities are given full facilities to lord it over material nature, but the ultimate controller is the Lord himself in the plenary feature as Paramatma, the Super Soul, who is one of the Purushas. Three Purusha avatars are there. Sorry. Thus, there is a gulf of difference between the living entity Atma and the controlling Lord Paramatma, the soul and the super soul. Paramatma is the controller and Atma is the controlled. Therefore, they are in different categories. Because the Paramatma fully cooperates with Atma, he is known as the constant companion of the living being. He is with us since time immemorial to deliver us from this material world to the spiritual world. But we are not listening to him. So, the all-pervading feature of the Lord, which exists in all circumstances of working and sleeping, as well as in the potential states, and from which the Jiva Shakti, living force, is generated as both conditioned and liberated souls, is known as Brahman. Since the Lord is the origin of both Paramatma and Brahman, he is the origin of all living entities and all else that exists. One who knows this engages himself at once in the devotional service of the Lord. Such a pure and fully cognizant devotee of the Lord is fully attached to him in heart and soul, and whenever such a devotee assembles with similar devotees, they have no engagement but the glorification of the Lord's transcendental activities. Those who are not as perfect as the pure devotees, namely those who have realized only the Brahman or Paramatma features of the Lord, cannot appreciate the activities of the perfect devotees. The Lord always helps the pure devotees by imparting necessary knowledge within their hearts, and thus out of his special favor, he dissipates all the darkness of ignorance. The speculative philosophers and yogis cannot imagine this because they more or less depend on their own strength. As stated in the Kathopanishad 1-23, the Lord can be known only by those whom he favors and not by anyone else. Such special favors are bestowed upon his pure devotees only. Sri Isopanisad thus points to the favor of the Lord which is beyond the purview of the Brahma Jyoti. So thank you very much for listening to this lecture, and please don't forget to subscribe, share, and like our channel and get the blessings of the Lord. Hare Krishna.